Lupaza Megastore dropped some information today regarding in Takara-Tomy's 2020 fall releases. Now, most of this information is stuff we already know about. All the War for Cybertron Siege stuff that's kind of being reprinted over there, the Earthrise stuff that's being reprinted over there, and a lot of the Studio Series stuff that, again, is being imported and reprinted over there. But there's one piece of information here that we did not know about. Among all the stuff that's going to be being released in September of 2020 in Japan, one item here we had no idea about. And it is of an MPM-10 Starscream, aka a movie masterpiece Starscream. Now, this is interesting and it's a shock because up to this point, we've had a general idea of the movie masterpieces we have had up to that point. The last one being MPM-9 Movie Jazz, which is all over in stores at this point. And before that, we had Megatron Movie Bumblebee, as in the Bumblebee movie version, the Volkswagen Bumblebee, Ironhide, Barricade, Optimus Prime, and Camaro Bee. Now, the interesting thing about this more than anything is that this is the second time the movie masterpiece line has revisited a character for a second go. Now, there's kind of a weird history with that, in that a lot of the toys that we got, like when the first Michael Bay movies came out, the first, second, and third ones, we had just a slew of toys that came out. And Japan didn't import a lot of those. They kind of were selective with what they brought in and what they didn't, because there was just a lot of glut. They didn't need stuff like robo-replicas and robot heroes and specific different price points, unless they were like, like the legend scale that we got was called like the EZ collection, and they were blind boxed. Like, they had different ways how the releases were done. But one thing that was really interesting was in the Transformers 2010 line that they did a little bit after Dark of the Moon came out, we had a leader class Starscream figure, and it had all the tribal tattoos on it, Cybertronian tribal tattoos, I guess we'll call it. And it was, a decent toy and was very popular for the longest time and was the Starscream. And Japan decided to bring that toy over there and start the movie masterpiece line. MPM-1 was Starscream, and it came out in 2010 of October, I think a day before Halloween or something. And it was a big, it was like, oh wow, so something that's a leader class for us is going to be considered a masterpiece in Japan. That's fine. And then even more later that year, around Christmas, they did the exact same thing. We had a Battle Ops Bumblebee, which was like that leader to, little higher scale Bumblebee figure with lights and sounds and everything. And it even had a Costco exclusive gold repaint version. And that was released in Japan as MPM-02 Masterpiece Bumblebee. So that was a thing that was going on just for those two releases. These were the only two movie masterpiece toys in Japan. They were, again, leader classes over here and special masterpiece versions over there. And it only happened in 2010 in Japan, and then there was nothing. And for 7 years, they didn't do another movie masterpiece toy until the modern movie masterpieces that we have today, that kind of, in a lot of ways, I want to say, were spawned as a separate entity to what Studio Series is. And when we got MPM-3, it was Bumblebee in 2017. So right away making that Battle Ops one, kind of pointless. And I think that part of the reason why they did that was because the two previous movie masterpieces, because they were based off of leader class toys during at a time when leader class toys in America had to have lights and sounds and voice boxes and stuff like that. They wanted to have something that's more of a synergy of scale. Also, again, those leader classes were heavily out of scale with everything else. Scale and just, focus more on engineering, less about bells and whistles. And then we had the movie masterpiece line we know today from MPM-03 onward, from 2017 onward to today. Again, Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Barricade, Ironhide, Volkswagen Bumblebee, first version Megatron, and Jazz. And now MPM-10 is Starscream based off of his first appearance. So we've had really good Starscream toys before. Again, mentioning that leader class one. But it had its flaws. It was limited by what it had to be. So this is going to be very interesting to see how they tackle it. They say here it's going to be a release of September 2020 20,000 yen, which is about, with exchange right now, I'd have to say about $190 American, about, something around that. And to give a perspective, the last like really big price point one was MPM-08 Megatron, the first movie Megatron, and that was going for 22,000 yen. But keep in mind, all of these big price point items, so movie Megatron, MPM-8, 22,000 yen. Literally 6 months after it came out, Amazon Japan slashed that price in half. And I think if you go to Amazon Japan right now, he's 11,500 yen. So complete, like almost more than 50% slashed. So if you're on the fence about this Starscream, you're kind of interested in it, but you're maybe not a fan of how expensive the price is, how he's almost $200, wait and see what happens, because a lot of these bigger, higher ticket items with Japan, they blaze in full cost, and the next thing you know, they take a huge dive. So that's something to consider. But again, this is interesting. We don't really have any major photos right now, just this one like CG image, which might not even really be a really good example of it. But it shows that we do have more movie masterpieces coming. It's yet another 2007 Michael Bay movie masterpiece, and who knows what's going to be next, judging by the choices thus far, because we had of the new generation of them after MPM-3, we had Camaro B 2007, Movie Prime 2007, Barricade Movie 2007, Ironhide Movie 2007, Volkswagen B happened because we had a B movie, but then they went back into 2007 movie Megatron, and now 2007 Jazz. Chances are, after this Starscream, if you're kind of looking at the lineup here, who's really missing, I'm going to lean probably more on either Jazz, or do they want to go with a very large-scale Blackout? I'm thinking more, not Jazz, Ratchet. I'm thinking more they might want to go with Ratchet and not go with, let's say, Blackout. Blackout is probably going to be too big, and we already had a leader class studio series, which kind of does the job right now. I'm thinking maybe Ratchet might be the next one, unless they want to jump into Revenge of the Fallen and do some new characters. Let's get those Ice Cream Twins, right? Anyone that's been following my Twitter recently, I've been kind of ragging on Tuner Mudflap. But yeah, so pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you think. Who do you think really would be the next movie masterpiece after this Starscream? I'm thinking Ratchet. I think Ratchet makes sense, kind of just finish it up. Unless they want to give us a really super intricate 1x1 scale movie frenzy. I don't know. The boombox. Who knows? But yeah, let me know what you think. This is pretty cool stuff. And once again, we're going to be having a live hangout on the YouTube Live this Saturday, so be sure to check that out too.